So, I normally don't make these kinds of videos because obviously subjects like mental health and the sharing of personal history and stories and stuff can be a bit depressing, to say the least. But I personally have been going through the worst depression and anxiety I've ever experienced in my life. And for a moment, it was life threatening. Um, And if I'm being completely honest, sometimes it still feels that way. Uh, I lost literally all interest in anything that once brought me any kind of joy. And it just kind of feels like I just want to sleep, but I can't fall asleep because my anxiety won't allow me. And it's finally gotten to the point where it's started to affect my job. And if I worked for anyone else, I'm positive they would have fired me a long, long time ago, and I would have deserved it. But you know, sometimes you're fortunate enough to encounter people like my boss that can still see something in you, still believe in you, even when you've kind of stopped believing in yourself. So I don't know. Maybe I just kind of feel like I need to pay it forward or something in some small way. Because even while I've been going through it, I can just feel so many others going through it as well. And I don't know. I guess it's just in my nature as a Virgo to want to like help others when I see that they're suffering. Anyway, um, so just a little history, I guess. 100 plus years ago, when I was a kid, my absolute favorite games were RPGs, role playing games like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Breath of Fire 2, Xenogears, things like that. I loved the stories. When I was in high school, because of my crippling social anxiety, just being a fucking loser, I was obsessed with writing my own short stories or, just developing like incredibly detailed backstories for characters I played on various online RP games like Ultima, things like that. I would write like full on stories of the situation they were in, their entire history, etc., etc. Uh, so in a strange way, kind of like lived many, many lives, lives that I've like had intricately designed and crafted everything about them down to like their very base motivations and desires and things like that. I I just loved writing, and after high school, life became a little tough. I quickly learned to harden my heart and make sure to push others away. Uh, I really wasn't living back then. It was more just kind of surviving day by day. Um, without going into like too much detail, at perhaps the lowest point in my life, I just kind of began to start blocking everything out until eventually I tried to write an ending to my own story, but failed. Um, then I entered my 30s, and after wandering around for so long, just bouncing from place to place, I had been through so much that I felt pretty confident that I knew truly who I was inside and out, and I had believed that every struggle, every wound, every loss had only made me stronger in the long run, or that it taught me something about myself in a way that only adversity could. I told myself that every accumulated trauma was just a lesson in disguise. That every loss was just a story concluding, and that lesson being burned into my being. Until one day, I kind of noticed that there were more and more stories ending that I had not yet finished. Or maybe I just wasn't quite yet ready to place them back on the shelf. But one by one, they were quickly being moved beyond my reach. Forever. And while this shelf of like half-read stories continued to fill, I looked down to realize that I had completely stopped writing my own. And the ink on the last page had actually been dry for decades. But worse than that, as I began to reach for the pen, I came to a really heartbreaking conclusion. More of a realization than a conclusion, but it was that I no longer enjoyed writing, or reading, or really much of anything at all anymore. Do you know how fucking completely terrifying it is to suddenly just lose all interest in things that once brought you happiness? Like, just out of the blue. Like, one day you don't have fun doing what made you happy the day before. Unfortunately, many people do know how that feels, and I kind of finally understand why. So anyway, I guess when you all wish your dads a happy Father's Day on Sunday, maybe just take a quick moment to also think about that friend or relative that you just haven't heard from in a while, and maybe just take 5 minutes to reach out and just acknowledge their existence. It may mean much more to them than you actually realize. I hope you all have a happy Father's Day.